friends. Welcome to another episode of Deep True Crime. I'm Manny Rodriguez. In today's episode, we're continuing the coverage of Courtney Clenney, social media model, recently arrested in Hawaii at a rehab center. She's claiming her innocence in killing her boyfriend back in April of 2022. She says she killed him in self-defense. A video has been released by the Miami prosecutors that shows this video footage of the social media model fighting with her boyfriend just 2 months before fatally stabbing him in the chest. You can see him walking in. As soon as she gets in that elevator, you can tell she's pretty pissed. Holding her, trying to keep her away from him. He pushes her away, and she's just wailing on this dude. She's literally pulling his hair, punching him over and over, and he's just like, get away from me, pushing her away from him. You know, he's a big guy. I'm guessing her thought process is, he won't beat me up, I will keep hitting him. I'm gonna guess that she's under the influence, could be wrong, but look at the anger. She is wailing on him, punching him, pulling his hair. And so now that that footage has been released, I think people have a better understanding of what kind of relationship they had. My friends, and this is why I want to say, we've probably been in these type of situations before, and we have to understand to what extent our temper or anger can take us. I could remember smashing a remote control because I was so angry that my brother got me that angry. And this was back when I was like a freshman in college or just back home after freshman. And I was so angry, I hit it right there and broke the remote control, right? Should something get me that upset that I break that? I've seen other people where they get so angry. I'm a coach to many kids, and one kid, I could remember this particular incident right before we're going to nationals. The boy was playing another boy in a match, and the other boy got my player upset, and the guy's mindset was, let me hit the wall so I don't hit the guy. He breaks his hand. You see, like, number one, to this day, he could be an angry kid. He could be an angry person. He's got a bit of a temper. If you don't learn how to control that stuff early on, there could be that one moment it snaps way too much. We've probably all been there where it's like that anger gets us so much engulfed in what's going on, we forget reality. Sure, later on we have our regrets. Maybe we said something, we did something, we had our regrets, and that's what I mean. It's like we gotta learn to grab our anger and control it. So Courtney Clenney, who has over 2 million followers on Instagram, she will be extradited to South Florida after her arrest in Hawaii on second-degree murder charges. Miami-Dade County State Attorney Kathy Fernandez-Rundle, she said at a press conference announcing the charges that Clenney stabbed Christian Obumseli at close range during a fight at their luxury apartment on April 3rd. Fernandez-Rundle, she said that the pair had a tempestuous relationship that became so disruptive to residents in the apartment building that managers were pursuing their eviction. And so, to demonstrate Clenney's capacity for violence, Fernandez-Rundle played this video from February showing the pair scuffling in an elevator that opened directly into their apartment. And the state attorney, Kathy Fernandez-Rundle, she says that it certainly appears that the defendant was aggressively attacking Christian. Clenney's attorney, Frank Prieto, he says that she stabbed Obumseli in self-defense after he shoved her to the ground. Now, originally I thought I heard that he said that he choked her. So that seems to be a difference in stories right there. But again, sometimes media reports things and you never really know the complete accuracy around this. I do my absolute best to, number one, make these about the victims, bringing justice to the victims, and I do my best to only share pertinent, important information to the story. The state attorney Fernandez-Rundle, she says that the couple's constant warring had led to a brief separation in March, while Clenney's mother came to stay with her in the apartment. But just 2 days before the fatal confrontation, the pair reconciled and Obumseli moved back in. The district attorney says the arguments began almost immediately, and she even added that the cops responded to the apartment and found Clenney intoxicated. A few weeks later, District Attorney Fernandez-Rundle says that the couple had a relatively tranquil morning and recorded a video playing with their dog. Obumseli left to get them sandwiches. Clenney then went live on Instagram as Obumseli returned home at 4:33 p.m. that Sunday before they began arguing once again. Clenney later claimed to investigators that she grabbed a knife after Obumseli threw her down to the floor and chucked it at him from a distance of 10 feet. Courtney later claimed to investigators that she grabbed a knife after Obumseli threw her down to the floor and chucked it at him from a distance of 10 feet. But Fernandez-Rundle, she said that the evidence did not support Courtney's claim and that she had stabbed him in the chest at close range. Obumseli was never armed. And records show that Courtney called her mother twice before calling 911 at 4:57 p.m. And this is according to the prosecutor. And Obumseli could be heard on the 911 call repeatedly saying that he was dying. The prosecutor, Fernandez-Rundle, she says that Obumseli was a victim of domestic violence and that men are often unwilling to come forward to report their abuse. Courtney, she had been getting therapy for PTSD that was stemming from the case in Hawaii before her arrest. Courtney's attorney says, "We are completely shocked at Courtney's arrest based upon the clear evidence of self-defense in this matter." He says Obumseli attacked her and choked her that evening. Courtney had no choice but to meet force with force. Courtney Clenney, she does agree to return to Florida to face her murder charges. As you can see here, her appearing in a Hawaii court, and she agreed to be sent back to Florida to be tried for murdering her boyfriend. And it has come out that she had previously been busted for throwing a glass at him. And so here she is appearing in court in Hilo, Hawaii, where she was arrested while enrolled in rehab for substance abuse. And so she has waived her right to an extradition hearing and agreed to return to Florida to face second-degree murder charges. She has been held without bail pending extradition. She has admitted to killing her live-in boyfriend Christian Obumseli on April 3rd, but she claimed she threw a knife from 10 feet away while defending herself from violence. And when she called 911 to report the stabbing, Obumseli can be heard in the background repeatedly saying he is dying and cannot feel his arm. The defendant is also heard saying, "I'm so sorry, baby." The warrant shows the amount of blood throughout the condominium at different levels, including 2 large pools, evidences the victim was bleeding for an extended period before police arrived. The injuries had proved that Obumseli had been stabbed in the chest from close range rather than hit by a flung knife. According to prosecutors, the injuries proved that Obumseli had been stabbed in the chest from close range rather than hit by a flung knife. In this particular incident where you can see her wailing on him, this wasn't the first act of domestic violence. This was just one of many violent fights the couple had. And Clenney, she was arrested for domestic battery in Las Vegas in January of 2021. In that case, Courtney threw a glass at him and barely missed him as he was laying on the couch. Courtney said that she had thrown items at him in the past like plates and glasses, but the status of that domestic battery case was unclear. When the couple lived together for 2 years in Austin, Texas, neighbors recalled regular fights, with one saying Clenney threw a giant painting off their balcony, landing on the floor below. And their then downstairs neighbor, Aiden Novisky, he says you could hear her throwing glasses, smashing objects. In their time in Miami at the One Paraiso building, the couple had so many fights, the building's management was moving to evict them. Obumseli's family attorney says there was a history of her always being aggressive and violent. But of course, her attorney, Frank Prieto, stuck to the claim that his client was merely defending herself from ongoing domestic violence. He says Obumseli was the abuser, the worst kind of abuser. He would manipulate and abuse Courtney in private when he thought nobody was around. And of course, he's going to say something that no one could verify. But you still had that neighbor who says they saw Obumseli hit her. So far, that's the only person that has said anything. So that does give Frank Prieto recourse to say that he was the abuser because allegedly someone actually saw him do that. But there's no proof of that. Whereas there's a lot of proof that she was abusive by even this video that you can see. My friends, you have to be careful. I don't care how pretty the person is or how beautiful the person is, guy or girl, who cares? Protect yourself. In her case, I mean, let's be real. If you have thrown glasses, plates, and done different things, there's temper, there's an anger. She should have gotten that looked at. It's so easy to be in a relationship when little person, big person, oh, I'm gonna beat on him, he's not gonna hit me back. I get that. He pushed her away from him. He pushed her. He's like, stop. And he's trying to even get her to stop banging on the elevator. She was pissed at whatever argument they had. And, he's a big guy. He's probably thinking like, I'm going to just brush her off, stop hitting me, get away from me. And now she got to the point where she snapped. There'll probably be an episode of her snapping on Snap. You guys have seen that show Snapped where women snap. We don't know what will come about this. There's a chance she will not spend the rest of her life in prison. There's a chance she'll be in there for decades, but I don't think she'll spend the rest of her life in prison. Do you think she should? What is your thought process? Do you think that she was more defending herself or she accidentally killed him or intentionally did it? Let me know in the comments. I would love to hear your thoughts on this case. My friends, I'm Manny Rodriguez. Thank you again as we continue the coverage of Courtney Clenney, social media model who snapped in that one moment, took it too far, and stabbed her live-in boyfriend. Thank you for joining me, and I look forward to serving you again. Peace.